Hello, and welcome to Coaching for Resilience. My name is Celeste, and I'm going to share some strategies for coaching for resilience. So, why is it necessary to coach teachers and administrators for resilience? One out of three new educators quit the profession within their first 5 years of teaching. 30% of educators leave the education field every year. Educators are now grappling more with the expectations than they ever have before. This includes dealing with the social emotional needs of their learners as well as being cognizant of their own needs. Now, more than ever, educators need resilient strategies that will guide them through their professional careers. Educators need mentors and cheerleaders to coach them on and encourage them to take care of themselves while they are taking care of others in the classroom. Educators with higher emotional intelligence and resilience are more likely to be happier and more physically healthy. So, the next question is, what is resilience? Resilience can be summed up as a way one responds to adversity and a way of just bouncing back when you're faced with a challenge. We all have resilience. However, it's a challenge for some of us when we are feeling overwhelmed or stressed out. So, this is an example of a resilience coaching cycle. A resilience coaching cycle is similar to a regular instructional coaching cycle that you would have with a teacher or a school leader. One of the main differences is that a resilience coaching cycle is to support the well being and health of the teacher, which in turn will support the children and the school. There's a different set of data collection when coaching someone through resilience. It isn't always about numbers and graphs. Rather, this will be supporting the emotional well being of educators, as well as giving them useful strategies to help them navigate throughout their day. Please note that we are not licensed professionals or doctors. Therefore, if you notice that your coachee needs something more than you can provide, please encourage them to seek help from a licensed professional. When you are coaching for resilience, you must build relationships with your educators and administrators to make them comfortable enough to trust you. As a coach, your goal would be to ensure that the educator is feeling better about himself or herself and their accomplishments. So, how do we do this? Remember Vanilla Ice's song that had the verse stop, collaborate, and listen? Well, this is exactly what you have to do. When you have that initial meeting with your client, listen without judgment and acknowledge and validate their concerns. Help them identify their core feelings. You may use a feelings wheel to help you with this task. It is always a good idea to have your guiding questions together to support you when coaching for resilience. Try to ask questions that will get to the root of feelings, such as, what makes you say that? Why do you say that? And how did that make you feel? Why do you think you responded the way you did? Have you looked at it from a different perspective? Once you have guided them through getting to the root of the challenge and the feelings that have emerged as a result of it, then you can work with them to develop a goal and navigate their feelings and emotions. You will need to have a goal action plan, the emotions identifier, a self care plan, and other resources to help you prepare for this conversation. So you have listened to your coachee explain the things that are going on in his or her life. What type of goal will you want to help your coachee set up? Think about what your coachee needs. Do they need a self care plan, a compassion strategy, a meditation moment, time management, or knowing when to self advocate? Those are some of the strategies that can be beneficial when coaching for resilience. If you have a list of strategies in your coaching toolbox, now would be a good time to offer a few of those strategies that you feel would be most beneficial. Then help them plan out a goal for using those strategies. For example, if they are choosing a mindfulness strategy when they are negatively impacted by a person's actions, they can try breathing exercises and reflecting on it before responding. They could possibly keep a journal to track daily challenges and their responses. In this journal, they can also write an intentional goal for each day and reflect or respond on the goal at the end of the day. This could be a daily task to help them track if their responses to negative stimuli improve over the course of time. Encourage them to write the goal down. When we write things, we see it and it registers in our brains more often. Did you know that it takes 1/12 of a second to store a negative memory while it takes 12 seconds to store a good memory? Our brains seem to store negative memories faster than positive memories. We can work to train our brains to be resilient and to counteract negative memories and change them and use them for growth. Here are a few strategies for resilience. Although there are more practices available, these are some that you can use to start with your coachees. Self care is one of the most important strategies because it helps educators become aware of themselves and how they act. We know that proper nutrition, sleep, and exercise is important. Therefore, it is always a good idea to find out how your coachee is managing their health. Remember, the saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup, and to fill your own first. This is the perfect time for that. Remember to check in with your coachee to see how they're doing. Try to make sure that they are staying on track. It is a good idea to also have conversational questions prepared when checking in on them. One thing that I have always done with my coachees is I tell them what I expect to see when we have our next meeting. This is not to stress them out, but to hold them accountable to themselves. So remember to check in often prior to your last meeting for this goal. When you are meeting with your coachee, it may be necessary to change the goal midway by either adding a task or eliminating the current task altogether and starting from the beginning. It is really determined by how your coachee feels their progress is coming along. Remember that this goal strictly belongs to the coachee. Your task will be to listen to what your coachee is saying and be the cheerleader and mentor to support them along the way. During the reflection or post conference meeting, you will meet with your coachee and determine what type of progress has been made. Listen to your coachee explain their progress and also listen to see if the coaching cycle has made a positive impact. You should also have questions prepared at this time to guide the reflection process and to also help you assess to determine if your coaching was beneficial in helping the needs of your coachee. This will be a good time to extend or revise coaching sessions if necessary. This is also a moment of celebration if your coachee has met the goal. So remember to celebrate each step of the way We all like to celebrate our accomplishments. To sum it all up, resilience coaching is necessary to build more resilient educators and to help educators manage their own self care and well being. Coaching is not only for academic goals, but also to help educators and administrators stay encouraged and motivated throughout the school year. It also helps reduce stress and depression. Remember that coaches never take the place of licensed counselors or medical professionals. If you notice that your coachee needs more services than you have available, please always refer them over to a licensed professional. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please do not hesitate to contact me. There are a lot of resources available to help you create your very own resilience coaching toolkit. Thank you.